The Isle of Souls was released into old school RuneScape on the 9th of December 2020 to house the Soul Wars minigame. On the 3rd of February 2021, it received a large update, adding a dungeon, lots of monsters, and some skilling areas. My Ultimate Iron Man is trapped here, and I'll be using only the resources available to make progress and see just how far this island can take us. Hello everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of Soul Trapped, the series where my Ultimate Iron Man is trapped on the Isle of Souls. So last time we got ourselves up to 500 total and unlocked the Soul Wars minigame, and we also grabbed 28 thieving outside of the Isle of Souls so that we can start thieving training on the island. We're going to start playing Soul Wars properly now. I've only played Soul Wars a little bit on my other Iron Man, and I've got no idea how fast it will be to get Zeal on this account, especially considering how low of a level I am. But I think the grind's going to be so worth it because the potential for upgrades that we're going to be getting is absolutely huge. We could potentially get ourselves some big food upgrades, full rune, and even the pet if we're lucky. The one thing that we can't get from Soul Wars is a melee weapon upgrade. Now you can get a dragon scimitar, dragon mace, dragon dagger, dragon longsword, all from Spoils of War. However, they're all locked behind quests that we can't do. So that means that the best in slot weapon on this entire island, as far as I can tell right now, is the rune scimitar. And that's something that we're going to come back to pretty soon. What I want to do first though, is actually complete the Soul Wars training with Nomad. The issue that we have as a UIM is that Nomad doesn't want to let us take in any restricted items to the training or into the Soul Wars minigame. So we can't actually take any items such as food, potions, capes, followers, or non-combat items, which basically means if it's not used for fighting, it's not allowed in. So this means we're going to have to sort ourselves out with a death pile. Now this is something that we haven't done yet on the account, so you're about to witness an iconic moment. Now I know that this is going to affect the integrity of the account, however the only other way for us to go into Soul Wars would be just to drop everything on the floor that we don't want to take in with us, and if we do that, those items are going to be gone after 2 minutes, so they're just going to be gone forever, and I'm not about that life, you know. I want to keep my saw. So instead we're going to be making death piles, which will give us 1 hour to retrieve the goods from the spot that we died on. I think that a good place for us to do this would be here at the Moss Giants, as it's really close to the minigame teleport. So without further ado, let's commit suicide. Okay, so this spot right here appears to be as far away as you can get from the Moss Giants before they de-aggro and walk away. So I'm going to mark this tile, and this is where we're going to try and death pile this or close to this, so that it's the shortest distance possible from the minigame teleport. Okay, here we go. Now remember, if you're doing a UIM and you decide to make a death pile, always remember, make a note of the time that your death pile will disappear so that you don't forget, and also make a note of the world that you're on. The reason we do this is so that in the case of an emergency, say you accidentally hop worlds and you don't remember what world you were on when you died, you can always find your stuff again. So as you can see, everything is here. So we want to pick up the armor and weapons that we'll be using. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's everything. And we're going to go and talk to Nomad so that we can complete the training. Let's do it, Nomad. I'm ready for the demonstration. Okay, so the Soul Wars demonstration that you go through during your training is just an instance version of the minigame, so I'm not going to force you to watch the entire thing. And there is the Soul Wars training complete, so we're now actually eligible to join a game. And this is why it was so important that I made a note of the world that I was on, because I'm going to hop worlds now. We're going to go to the Soul Wars world and we're going to play our first ever game. And I know that the gear I'm using is not good enough to do well. However, we can get ourselves a decent amount of zeal just by killing the forgotten souls in the graveyards. Here we are. Let's pass through the barrier. An iconic moment, as this series is absolutely full of. And let's scope out our competition a little bit. We got some guys here, ancestral armor, bit of a tanky boy over here, a DPS queen over here in full elite void, but we all know the real chads wear a bit of steel armor and a skirt. The fun thing about Soul Wars is that it's entirely PvP, so I'm definitely going to end up trying to defend myself against some of these guys. And you know, I think I've got a pretty good chance. Okay, here we go. So there's almost no point in me taking prayer potions, just because we literally have 19 prayer and there's very little that we can do with that. However, it is worthwhile us taking just the one, because it actually acts like an overload in raids, so it will give us a little bit more attack power. As well as that, the bandages also regenerate your run energy, so our level 1 agility isn't going to be too much of a hindrance here. So my plan is just to sit around and kill these forgotten souls, and hopefully get enough soul fragments so that we can get a decent amount of zeal. Okay, we've got 2 soul fragments here, and we are getting out DPS by literally everyone else on the team, so the best thing we can probably do is just sacrifice these now, get ourselves the zeal. Oh dear. Okay, we didn't even get to sacrifice them. We got so close, so close. I guess we're just gonna have to try again. Uh-oh, we're getting PK'd again. Wow, okay, that was bad. We're making another pass. Come on, I just want to get one sacrifice. Come on. Oh no, oh no. Now I'm not sure if this will work, but maybe I can pick my soul fragments up from the floor. No, I cannot. Kind of sucks because if I had soul fragments with me, I would have made it this time. I'm gonna take these bones. Screw it, we're gonna have a fight. And there we go. What an absolute win. Ultimate PK gear we're in right here. So another way that you can get zeal is to pick up some bones and bury them in the graveyard. So if we take these bones here and bury them, there we go, we've earned a little bit of zeal by doing that. I just want to sacrifice some soul fragments, please. Yes, okay. We've sacrificed 2 soul fragments. That is amazing. If there's one thing that I've learned from this first game here, it's that I need some better gear. Okay, that's the first game over. We earned 10 zeal, which is not enough to unlock anything. So that was a lot of fun. But before we go back in there, we have got some upgrades to get. Okay, let's get everything back in the inventory, and we are all good. So now that we've played a game of Soul Wars, I've got 2 upgrades that I think are going to be pretty much essential if we're going to grind out a lot of zeal. First one that we're going to be looking for is overhead prayers. We're going to need to get level 43 prayer. Once we reach that milestone, we're going to be going for the rune scimitar, and we're going to be grinding that out on fire giants. So the way we're going to be getting our 43 prayer is simply by killing these moss giants and burying the big bones. The reason that I want to do this before we go for the rune skim is that we've got the chance of getting a Mithril Sword from these guys, which is a pretty big upgrade on our steel long. And while we can spend a bit of time collecting runes from the Forgotten Souls in the Crumbling Tower, I think that a lot of the grind on the Fire Giants is going to be flinched, so anything that we can do to get a slightly better DPS out of ourselves is going to be a bonus. There's one big bone, here's to the first of many. Finally, look at it, laying there on the floor, a Mithril Sword. That took so much longer than it should have done. Oh yeah, looking good. Now, this is going to be a pretty significant upgrade. It's 2 tiers above the Steel Longsword, and it's faster as well. So we should be dealing out quite a lot more damage with it. The drop rate of the Mithril Sword from Moss Giants is 1 out of 64, and it took us 158 kills to get it, so we were just over double the drop rate there. So we are going to continue killing these guys for the big bones because I do still want overhead prayers. But as we got the Mithril Sword, I think it's time to take a little bit of a break and train a bit of magic, because we have got a few runes saved up and we've got this lovely wizard outfit that we can use. So let's go and make use of it and see if we can get ourselves an immediate further upgrade. Well, this is going to be the last giant kill for now because we're pretty much out of runes. Never lucky. Back from a bit of time AFK in the Forgotten Souls, we've got some more runes. Let's try again for the rune skim. Holy shit, we got it! Oh my god, yes! Okay, so, this Mithril Sword is dead to us. It doesn't exist anymore. We can forget we even got it. Hell yes. We are now wielding the best in-slot weapon that we can get on this account. This is going to make such a huge difference when it comes to Soul Wars, and when it comes to training our account in general. I can't believe we got that so fast. We must have killed maybe 10, 15 fire giants on this account, and we've hit that 1 in 128 drop rate. That's so cool. I mean, we might as well just carry on training our magic. We do still have a couple more levels that I want to get. So we'll stay here until the runes are gone. But that's bye-bye Mithril Sword and hello Rune Skim. And I know it's pronounced scimitar, but I don't know, pronouncing the C just kind of feels good to me, so I'm going to be calling it a scimitar. Yeah, it feels really good to have this weapon unlocked. It's going to bring the amount of time we spend grinding down by quite a significant amount, because it means that we won't actually need to do a proper grind for this weapon in the future because we've just got really lucky and got it early. And we'll also be doing more damage to the monsters we do fight, meaning that the XP rates are going to be quite a bit higher than they were before. So we're just going to use the rest of our runes up on the moss giants, just so that we can hopefully get another couple of levels in magic, which will allow us to wield our battle staff. It looks like we run out of runes just a little bit too early to get that level, but that means it's now time to try out our new weapon. Let's see how this thing hits. Absolutely shreds through the competition. Loving it. Just stocking up on a few more lobbies, and look at that, we have got ourselves a lamp. And this is going to be the second to last one that we need for our construction level. We're 3 XP away. So one more lamp and we will have level 2 construction, meaning that we can unlock the crafting skill on our account. And there's level 50 fishing coming in just while we're restocking on those lobbies. And there's level 50 cooking as well. So it's time for a little bit of a moss giant / prayer training update. We've killed 545 of these guys so far, and the prayer level is sitting comfortably at level 28. We still have a pretty long way to go, to be honest. It's going to take around another 2,500 to get ourselves up to level 43 prayer. So I've been having a little bit of a think, and I reckon I want to try Soul Wars again. The overheads are still definitely going to be pretty much essential to grind it out for a long period of time. But now that we do have the Rune Skim, and we also have access to Steel Skin and a few of the other lower level prayers to assist with our DPS, it might be a little bit better. So I think when we're done with this inventory of lobsters, we're going to give it a go. Well, that's all the lobsters gone, so just before we do finish off here, we've got a few more runes, and this should be just enough to get us up to level 30 magic, so let's see. There we go, it was the exact amount that we needed, that's perfect. So we now have level 30 magic, which is awesome, and the reason that's awesome is because we can finally wield this battle staff. So, magic staff, it's been nice knowing you, but goodbye. And that's just a permanent extra inventory slot now. We've also been collecting some cosmic runes. I did plan on keeping them in my inventory so that I could enchant some jewelry way later on down the line, but I'm realizing it's going to be so much further down the line that there's not really much point in me keeping them here right now, because I can always just come back to Moss Giants and get some more later. The same is going to go for the lobster pot, and there we go. So what we're going to do now is quickly commit a bit of suicide and then go and try our luck at Soul Wars again. Each game of Soul Wars lasts 15 minutes, so we should have enough time to do 3 games before we need to come back, pick everything up, and then re-suicide again. I've got a timer set for 1 hour, and I'm going to start it now so that it will go off just before we actually need to get back here. That way, instead of having a timer that just says, hey, your gear's all disappeared, we've got one that says, you should go and pick up your gear. So I've decided to try a different technique for getting Zeal this time. I'm just going to run around and heal players on my team. The wiki says that you can get Zeal this way, so I assume that I'm going to get more than I did in the last round. So if we kill the Forgotten Souls to keep our activity bar here up, and then just heal people in between, I think we'll be cool. Okay, so there's another game of Soul Wars finished, and this time we earned 16 Zeal, which is not a lot more than we earned before. So it doesn't look like healing your teammates actually gives you any Zeal at all. So I'm going to try another game, and we're just going to go for as many soul fragments as possible, and we'll see how we do. So this game's going quite a bit better. We've got a few bones here that we can bury in the graveyard, and we've already sacrificed about 10 soul fragments. Oh lord. Okay. Well, that doesn't matter. We're still doing okay. We're still doing alright. Okay, that game was far more successful. We earned 36 Zeal that game, which is more than double what we earned in the last two. So it looks like Soul Wars is going to be doable for us now for a while. I still do want to go and get overhead prayers before we grind out a huge amount of Zeal. However, I think that a really good way for us to do that would be to go for the Ectoplasmator. So the Ectoplasmator is worth 250 zeal, and what it does is allow you to keep it in your inventory, and when you kill ghost enemies like the Forgotten Souls, it will give you prayer experience based on 20% of their total hit points. And that means that while I have a lot of time to AFK, I can go up to the Crumbling Tower and then just grind out my prayer level on Forgotten Souls. And I think that's going to be a lot faster than the Moss Giants, so that's the plan. But before we do that, I kind of can't resist. We're going to have to get one Spoils of War and just see what we get out of it. Okay, first Spoils of War on the account, iconic moment. 96 lobsters and some adamant bolts. Okay, so that's half useful. There is not really much of a use for us to keep these addy bolts right now. I mean, if we were to grind for quite a long time, we may be able to unlock a rune crossbow or an addy crossbow so that we could use them, but that is so far into the future that at the moment that's just going to be a waste of inventory space for us. So we're going to drop the addy bolts and grab all of our stuff off the floor. Okay, yes, here he is. We have got the final genie. Awesome. Now, I was going to go straight back into Soul Wars, but this is a monumental moment right here. We have got the last lamp that we need for level 2 construction. Let's do it. Your wish has been granted. You have been awarded 10 construction experience, and that there, level 2 construction. We can now build curtains and a brown rug. But that's not what's important. So this pottery wheel right here is broken and we can't use it right now. However, now that we have level 2 construction, we can fix it. There is one issue with what we need to do to fix this thing though. Fixing the pottery wheel requires an iron bar. Now there's only 2 ways that we're going to be able to get that on the Isle of Souls. The first is to kill an iron dragon. They have a guaranteed drop of iron bars every time, so that would potentially be the fastest way to do it by a long way. The issue we're going to have there though is that there isn't a way to safe spot them as far as I know, and as I don't currently have an anti-dragon shield, anti-fire potions, or protect from magic overhead prayers, we're going to run into quite an issue trying to defeat one of those. So the other way that we could get ourselves an iron bar would be to grab ourselves 43 magic and then use superheat. We have access to iron ore on the island, so that's not a problem, and we do have quite a few nature runes. So I'm just having a look at the amount of magic XP you can get per zeal from Soul Wars. Now, we need approximately 37,000 magic XP to bring ourselves all the way up to level 43. And at 22 XP per token, that would cost us 1,683 zeal. Now, I know that you do get a little bit more XP depending on your magic levels, so as the levels rise, we will get more XP. But that is still quite a significant amount. So I think the plan for now is that we're going to continue going for the Ectoplasmator. After we've got that, we can go and AFK the Forgotten Souls for prayer XP and magic runes. And then we can train our magic using the runes that we get from the Forgotten Souls. I think this way is going to be a little bit faster, and it's also going to allow us to use our Soul Wars points for some more useful items. So let's get a quick suicide on the go and get right back into Soul Wars then. Okay, as you can see, we have 226 zeal tokens right now, so hopefully this next game is going to give us the final 24 that we need to unlock the Ectoplasmator. Okay, that was the last game we needed. We got 58 zeal there, giving us a total of 284 zeal, which is awesome because that means we can now go and get ourselves the Ectoplasmator. Okay, so it seems I've made a terrible mistake. We need a minimum of level 40 prayer to purchase the Ectoplasmator, so I can't even get it yet because I don't have the level. So that's a bit annoying, but never mind. I guess what we're going to do is go back to the Moss Giants just for a couple more levels. We are going to have to keep killing these Moss Giants for quite some time now because we're going to need to get ourselves to 40 prayer before we can unlock the Ectoplasmator. And that's going to take us around another 1,000 giants. So what we're going to do after this kill is go and spend the zeal that we've got right now on some Spoils of War to see if we can get ourselves a few more upgrades. The reason I'm okay with spending the zeal that we've got is because the grind to get more of it from Soul Wars really isn't that bad, and I did have quite a lot of fun doing it, so I'm happy to do it again. And the upgrades that we can get from the Spoils of War could help us quite a lot with our grind. So we're going to do this one at a time. Let's get some Spoils of War. Oh, nice, some sharks. We're going to keep those in the inventory for later. Well, I've run out of space to open more, and almost none of this stuff is actually useful. So, because it's not completely worthless, we're just going to drop them over to the main. Okay, and this is the last Spoils of War. Let's hope for some rune legs, a rune full helm, anything like that would be awesome. And we get nothing. So we have basically just wasted all of the zeal that we got today, but that's okay, because there was always a chance that we could get something really useful, so I think it was worth the risk. And I know that did go by quite quickly, so if you want to take a little bit of a closer look at everything that I got, just so you can see there was nothing particularly useful to me right now, feel free to go back and pause the video so that you can get a bit of a better look. So back to Moss Giants we go, and this is where I'm going to end the video for today. I think that we have made quite a lot of good progress. We've got ourselves best in slot weapon, being the Rune Scimitar, and we've also made quite a bit of progress on our levels. Next episode, we are going to be getting that Ectoplasmator, and we're also going to start discussing what the end goal for this account is. Anyway, I want to say thank you very much to everybody who's watching and interacting. It's really incredible how many of you have been enjoying the videos. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.